buzz breaks the silence. I start to rouse, pulled into consciousness against my own will. I've never felt this tired before. I just want to sleep, but the insistent buzzing, poking, and prodding isn't letting me. My old mattress may not be the comfiest of places, but that doesn't make me any more eager to wake up.
5 more minutes, Becca.
I swat away at what is nudging persistently at my side. Can't I just get a few extra minutes of sleep today? I promise I'll work hard once I'm up. A hand lightly taps my cheek, and something cold is suddenly being pressed at the back of my head. The icy sensation slowly spreads through the area, giving me an uncomfortable feeling.
Is she alright? Isabella? Isabella? Gosh, can you hear me? Isabella?
You fell down the stairs. You're not in bed. The fog of unconsciousness immediately lifts from my mind. The moment I recognize the voice, my eyes snap open. It's your buddy, isn't it? Different people. Oh, okay. They're looking down at me as Rose. Another woman loiters beside her, but my attention is too focused on my co-agent to even ask why there's someone else with her. Rose's posture just screams worry, although she is keeping a straight face, or trying at least. I can't help but feel bad for making her fret. A wave of dizziness washes over me as soon as I try to get up, forcing me to lie back down again. Luckily, it subsides after a few seconds, until only a mild throbbing somewhere at the back of my head remains. With little assistance from Rose, I push myself upright. She hands me an ice pack and gestures for me to press it where I suspect a small bump has already formed, if the light ache in the area is any indication.
All right, Isabella, where are we?
The Ermengarde mansion. Why? Ow, my head.
Poor baby.
And the date today?
October 21st? Rose.
Last one. Can you count to 15 in reverse order?
15, 14, 13, 12 teen... No, that's wrong. Why are we doing this?
She's just checking to see if your injury is in any way serious.
This time I curiously regard the woman standing beside Rose. It's impossible to overlook her, what with the way she towers over us. And there I thought Rose is already tall. Well, most people tower over me. I'm, like, fucking 3 feet tall. Who is she, anyway? One of the remaining cleaning crews? But with how primly dressed she is, I don't think anyone would want to clean in a suit. An expensive suit at that. The gloves alone must have already cost a fortune. Her eyes slowly shift between me and Rose, considering us with an almost unreadable expression, before finally fixing a sharp gaze on me. I can't help but fold my arms protectively over myself as she does so. She may be far from a cleaning crew, but she certainly looks like my supervisor during evaluation days.
Just do it, please.
I eye them both warily, but recite everything as she has asked. Rose releases a breath of relief once I'm done.
You scared me for a moment there. I was about to call for an ambulance when you started stirring. Are you all right?
Exasperation soon replaces the dull ache. Yeah! The memory's a little fuzzy, but the attic and...
There was someone, Rose. In the attic.
Someone? You mean a client? Oh, that's unlikely. It's probably just one of the cleaning crew. The boss sent a few of them back this morning for some last-minute...
No, not any of those. I'm not actually sure. Wait, didn't I call you? You said you were in the attic when you answered. That's why I went there in the first place.
Spooky house! Both Rose and the lady look at me like I've just grown another head. Yeah, they kind of have that expression on their face. Did I say something weird? Rose casts an apologetic smile at the woman beside her before the awkward silence stretches on further. It's her saleswoman's smile, the same one she taught me back when I was still her trainee. The, you're crazy but okay sort of look. I should show this to troublesome clients or just to avoid the trouble in general, she advised. It's also the one she gives me when I've done something particularly absurd that may cause us to lose a potential sale. Her eyes are serious when she turns back at me. She takes both of my shoulders, gently squeezes it, and with as much patience as she can muster.
As much as I'd love to have gotten at least a heads up of your arrival, I didn't really get a call from you.
Spooky house!
You know, signal here is absolutely horrendous. I was in the garden earlier and couldn't even make a single call. Isabella, I'm going to ask again. Are you really all right? What happened?
Spooky lady.
I don't know. It's all a bit blurry.
Okay.
I remember I was looking for you, but you weren't in the attic. And there's whoever it is. Then I must have tripped on a rug or something on the way down. Oh no. Do you think someone came in while you were out? You left the main door open. We are so going to get into big trouble if something gets stolen, Rose.
Perhaps it is a concussion.
Are you sure you feel fine? We could still call for an ambulance. I could cover for you.
No, I'm fine. I'm okay, Rose. I can work.
Wait. Hold your horses, Rose. I can't just miss an important sale because of a minor bump on the head. You got attacked by basically the fucking Grudge. An extremely minor bump. Yeah, sure. I've had worse when I was a kid. This is nothing.
Besides, if I leave, you'll have to shoulder everything in the open house. Alone. And in a mansion this big?
Well, there's also the part where I may lose that bonus BRC promised, but that's completely beside the point. Sure. Rose gives me a skeptical look when I return the cold compress to her and push myself off the floor. I have to use the staircase's railings to steady myself, but otherwise, I feel fine.
See? I'm A-okay.
Oh yeah, A-okay. The two of them exchange a worried glance, and Rose assumes a contemplative look. I bite my lower lip in anticipation. If she says no...
All right, you in.
A smile threatens to slip out from me.
If I see that you aren't feeling well, I'm taking you personally to the nearest clinic to have you checked. Clear?
Fair enough.
Clear as day, ma'am. Thanks, Rose.
You insisted. But remember what I said. First sign of you looking not okay, and we're off. No questions asked.
She's not okay.
It's just a small bump. Don't worry.
I
You
would
shouldn't
worry.
downplay these kinds of things. It could be a serious injury for all we know.
Didn't she kind of fall down the stairs? That's the impression that I got. She kind of fell down the fucking stairs. Suddenly, a small cough sounds against the walls of the foyer, interrupting our banter. The woman is looking expectantly at the two of us, her stare making me shrink back a little on myself. She isn't really intimidating. Well, she is. But not in the scary negative way. Far from it, actually. Her demeanor simply commands an air of sophistication and respect. In a different world, a younger me would have probably wished to be like her. She coughs again, lifting a well-trimmed eyebrow at me in question. Words get caught in my tongue, and Rose, as usual, is swift to catch my own blunders.
My sincerest apologies, Mrs.
Miss McCulloch. Marianne McCulloch.
Well, that's got quite a to it. I like it. Designs. Okay. Words interior designer catch my eyes before my partner flips it over. Oh, probably someone interested in the mansion for its 17th century influences then. I won't hold it against her, though. Despite the hearsays and remaining uninhabited for years, the mansion's original fittings and furniture have been kept completely intact and restored to pristine condition. I suppose some people find that trip to the past feeling appealing? Yeah, I like old stuff, but not when it tries to kill me. After all, with what it offers, this place is a definite haven for people looking to live somewhere with a classic historical charm.
Miss McCullough, I'm Rose Cooper, and this is my partner, Isabella Santos. We're just ironing out a few things, but we'll be starting the tour soon enough. In the meantime, we've prepared some refreshments for you in the parlor while you're waiting. If you could please...
Thanks. There's no need for it, though. I just dropped by for a quick survey of the place. I thought I should check the estate before I meet with the homeowners.
The confused look on Rose's face is impossible to miss when she glances at me. I return it with an equally perplexed look. And against my better judgment, I blurt out the first question that comes to mind. What's the first question that comes to mind?
I'm sorry. Homeowners?
I should have kept my mouth shut. Typically, yeah. That's me. A flash of irritation crosses her face, but it instantly disappears under a mask of professional detachment.
Yes. Hannah Wright? I was hired by her to handle the interior design for their newly bought home. This is the Ermengarde mansion, right?
It is.
She pauses, possibly trying to find the right words to fix the awkward situation without offending someone. Yeah, probably check. Those few moments have given me enough time to clear my head of any nervousness or confusion clouding
It is, ma'am, but we weren't aware the mansion has already been sold.
What do you mean?
I almost flinch when she turns her gaze on me. But I stand my ground. Besides, it isn't like I haven't dealt with an awkward situation like this before. I may screw up at times, but that doesn't mean I haven't heard a thing or two in the 5 years I've worked in the business.
The mansion is indeed for sale, ma'am. Today's the open house, in fact. However, we haven't heard anything from the higher-ups that a deal has already been closed for this particular property. If you'd like, my co-agent and me can check with them right now.
She nods, seemingly in deep thought after I've finished. She appears to be a reasonable person anyway. Given the proper explanation, she'll likely understand.
I thought something looked odd when I arrived here. Excuse me, I think I need to make a call to my secretary. Thank you for your assistance, Miss Santos.
With a slight wave of her hand, I immediately went into Nightmare Before Christmas lyrics. With a slight wave of her hand, she leaves us, presumably to double-check with someone on her side. That seems to be the end of it. Both Rose and I breathe a sigh of relief. Disaster averted. I also don't miss the thumbs up she gives for doing a good job, and I can't help but swell with pride. Still, I've already prepared myself to dial the number to our Luxburn office and check, even if she didn't ask for it. I'll be very frustrated if, for some reason, an agreement has already been decided without my or Rose's knowledge. That's a whole new level of unfair. We've been working hard on this. Moments later, Miss McCulloch returns, trying not to fuck that up, looking a little frustrated, but an apology clear in her face. Oh, she's got a little blush going on. I feel a little sorry for her having to go through all this trouble.
There seems to have been a little misunderstanding with my client. If you'll allow it, I'd like to stay and wait for them here. I was informed they'll be dropping by for the open house today. I figured it'd be a waste to just leave after that long drive. I might as well meet him here.
Certainly. You could stay at the parlor in the meantime, ma'am. I'm sure it won't be long before our guests arrive. And, Isabella? I left a few documents in my car. You know where I keep those. Can you please get it for me?
Rose takes a glance at her wristwatch before tossing me a set of keys.
And hurry! We've still got a few minutes to double-check those papers.
Okay, got it. Give me a few minutes.
The two of them disappear behind the parlor's door. Their departure brings with it a hushed stillness to keep me company, neither comforting nor soothing. Well, especially since the fucking grudge was after you! This alone, it's impossible not to think of what truly happened earlier. I wish the memory isn't as elusive as it normally is. Then again, Rose already said she didn't receive any call from me. What, were you hallucinating? Was it just my paranoia at work? That's not how paranoia works. A temporary lapse in my own mind after having heard all these tales at this place? Probably. I want to think of it as such. So let's just block out that, me almost being murdered by some horrible undead lady thing. Yeah, let's do that. Better to think of it as such, so I can work in peace. Denial. Human coping mechanism. Perfect. Except a small part of my mind begs to differ, and if I'm going to be completely honest with myself, I want nothing more than to leave this place as soon as possible. I would be fucking out of there. I don't know what's in this house, and I don't want to know. Keys Rose have just... Wait, what? The keys Rose have just handed me dig into my palm. That's not right. Its jagged edges creating shallow ridges on my skin from how hard I'm clutching it. It's a cursory reminder of what I still need to do and why I've taken this job in the first place. Hugging my blazer closely to my body, I exit the house and get what Rose has asked of me. Just a few more hours, Isabella. Sell the house, get the money. Well, that was pleasant. A flock of people have already gathered in the mansion's front yard by the time we officially open the doors. I'm not sure whether I should feel baffled, underdressed, standing in their presence. Men and women of wealth and status, all dressed to the nines in fancy suits and lovely dresses of varying colors, compose the medium-sized crowd. Their necks, arms, and fingers are adorned with silver and gold glinting in the afternoon sun. Some even have ridiculously fancy feathered hats on their heads. What year is this? I really hope there aren't any magpies living nearby in these stories. Like in these stories, those birds will have a field day in this. Yeah, they're murmuring amongst themselves, looking at the estate's facade appraisingly, with some arguing about whose mansion has the superior architecture. Ugh. But most of it stops as Rose calls for their attention. They don't look too pleased at being ordered around, but what can they do about it?
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Rose Cooper, and this is my partner, Isabella Santos. We'll be taking a tour of the mansion in 2 groups. Please make sure you filled up our sign-in forms before joining a specific group.
Those who want to look around the first floor, please follow my partner. I'll be guiding the ones who wish to see the ground floor.
Oh yeah, in England, the first floor is what we in the US call the second floor. So ground floor is the first floor. Hearing this, a few wander towards me. They are mostly old ladies who seem daunted at the idea of climbing all those stairs. Miss McCulloch also joins our group, but what really catches my eye is the elegantly dressed pair she approaches. Don't they look a bit like the people in the glass thingy, and they're a bit scary. Just got
It's so
huge
nice to
boobs.
finally meet you. When Chief Inspector Lee mentioned that a famous interior designer is in town, I knew I had to get you.
Your confidence in my skills is very flattering, ma'am.
I'm sure you won't disappoint, Marianne.
Oh,
It's
you
fucking
know each
creepy.
other?
Not at all, ma'am.
You mentioned something about a Marianne on our way here, darling?
Uh-huh. Yeah, sure. That's how that went.
Oh, yes, I think I did.
They must be clients like she was talking about. I might have seen their faces somewhere before. Some magazine or television? I can't quite remember. I'm very bad at recognizing people out of context. Like, horrible. But then again, most of our guests have likely ended up on the news one way or another. I won't be surprised if these two have too. For people who are popular, though, they aren't dressed as loudly as the others, and in their simplicity, the couple stands out. The woman, in particular, is stunning enough to turn heads of most people in my group, especially the men with wandering eyes. The guy standing beside her doesn't seem to mind, though. And if I'm going to be a bit bolder with my assumptions, I'll say he's basking in the attention. Both of them, in fact, peas in a pod. I think they're brother and sister if this isn't for their public display of affection. Oh, I'll think they're brother and sister if it isn't for their public display of affection. The matching rings on their fingers just cement the fact that they are indeed a couple. Whatever. Couple or not, this is important as we get the deal closed before the current owners can even think of canceling the listing agreement. Maybe they're like Lannister style. I just hope one of the people in my or Rose's groups is brave or generous enough to buy this mansion. And so, with papers in hand, I lead the way. When they aren't whispering among themselves or going ooh, ah, over one thing or another, they ask questions. From how the restoration process went to the history of the place, I answer them all, more than happy to talk about the art pieces and architecture mostly. Yeah, it looks like those people. And the paintings... However, I'm careful not to mention anything about the urban legend. Not a good material for sales talk, even if the entire population of Luxburn knows about it.
Some of the furnishings here are actually the 17th century originals, all of which have undergone a painstaking restoration process just to return its original beauty.
So it's old!
even the glass thing. Colorful ones. Oh, I don't know,
Stained
but you get the
glass.
idea, I hope.
She's bright.
Especially that one, ma'am. It is said to be a gift commissioned by the fiancé of Lady Charlotte Ermengarde.
Is she like reincarnated? I'm just getting all...
The mansion's current owners
Ah.
have specifically requested that the restoration crew take great care in handling it. It's a priceless work of art and the most distinctive feature of the mansion.
By the time I've stopped talking, her attention is already elsewhere.
Isn't this place wonderful, darling? I told you it's not a total waste of your time.
I don't know. Isn't it a bit too small? We might have to break a wall down to have more room.
Don't break anything. It's old. It's old!
Well, I think it is just right. Don't you think so, Marianne?
It is splendid, ma'am. But isn't it a little too early to make plans when no deal has been signed yet?
Never mind that. It isn't going to be a problem. We've got a wonderful legal team to handle everything. Start taking notes, though. I think I've got a few things I want changed before we move in.
The rest of their conversation gets lost in the chatter of our other companions. I don't want to make any assumptions yet, but their sheer interest is enough to give me some semblance of hope. Oh, please, 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 let these guys be the one. So pretty. When we reach the parlor, however, an odd feeling washes over me. Starts off as small goosebumps on my skin, a feeling of being watched intently. Ugh. Grudge lady! Whispers in my ear and shadows dancing, lurking in the corner of my vision. Dark silhouettes that are gone when I turn to look to see what it is. A chill that settles down my spine, making me sick, and I start to break into a cold sweat. I can't do this. I need to sit down for a moment. The old ladies in the group have been requesting for a break anyway. If I can just...
Excuse me? Everyone? We will be taking a 15-minute rest here before we visit the first floor. In the meantime, please help yourselves to the refreshments and snacks we've prepared. If anyone
Sounds
has
like
any
a good
questions,
plan.
feel free to approach me. I'd be happy to help you.
Sounds like a good ruse. Hey, I'm freaking scared and need a break. Hey, snacks! I let them sit while I retreat to a quiet corner to recover. It's not what you think. Don't think about it. It's not what you think. I've probably just caught Becca's cold. Don't think about it. I'm left alone for a good while, the same words spilling out of my lips in a silent prayer, until a hand taps my shoulder.
Hello, you there? Yes, ma'am? Oh, look at you. Having to show a group around a mansion this big must be exhausting. Not a problem, ma'am. I'm just doing my job. What a hard worker. Anyway, Isabel, right?
Trying to butter her up. I see.
Isabella, actually. But yes, what can I help you with, ma'am, right? Please, just Hana. Call me Hana. I just wanted to ask, how soon are we able to move in?
My brain completely stops. The sick feeling plaguing me is suddenly gone, replaced by utter bewilderment. Well, she's a salesman. Is she being serious? She looks at me expectantly as I struggle to come up with an answer.
Wait, ma'am, you see, but we haven't even negotiated a price yet, ma'am. We haven't even finished touring the rest of the mansion. A sale would be great and all, but...
She stops me from speaking any further, putting a hand on my shoulder. For a moment, with her tight smile, she looks as if she has tasted a particularly sour lemon. She really wants this house.
Oh, please, sweetie, don't insult me. Money is not a problem. And, just between you and me, this place is better off with us than with some old lady who'll probably just fill it up with cats.
What's wrong with cats?
I personally don't think there's anything wrong with having cats here, ma'am Hana. I'm sure there's more than enough space here if you want pets.
That's not her point. Perhaps I'm still not feeling well, but really, what's wrong with cats? More importantly, why is she talking about moving in already?
Well, I'm more of a dog person.
Same, but I still like cats.
But you see, this is going to be a gift to my darling. It's going to be our anniversary soon.
Who buys a mansion as a gift? Fuck. Rich people, man. Nothing against
And
it,
it would
just
be so
holy shit.
wonderful if you can secure its purchase for us.
I won't say no to a sale, right? I'm a salesman too. That's
Why,
what
I
I
can
do.
even offer something extra if you help us out with the paperwork. I We actually have a process for this, ma'am. I don't really think that would be necessary or appropriate.
And just what are you two lovely ladies talking about here? Leaving me and our lovely interior designer to talk here by ourselves. What would the people think, darling?
Oh, it's just small talk, love. I was asking if she could help me with the paperwork.
I struggle not to wince when her nails dig in my shoulder. I can't help but send an imploring look at Miss McCullough, who only gives me an apologetic smile and a shrug. She knows.
Yeah. I can give you a fact sheet and a form to fill out.
She wastes no time in taking the papers from my hand and shuffles through the bunch. Oh man, Rose is gonna be so angry at me for letting her do that.
Wonderful. And Marianne, I'd really love to talk to you about those changes. You took some notes earlier, yes?
I did, Mom. But I really hope that this time...
Excellent. Hopefully you can help us out too, Isabel. Isabella. Right. It's a lovely name, Isabel. It's Isabella. Yes, that's great. We'll be more than happy to put in a good word to your superiors too, and... What's this?
A look of confusion and disgust is apparent in her face. Turning to her husband, he merely shrugs in reply.
That's, an interesting work of art. Not to my taste, though. I'm sorry.
Darling, Buttercup, art is a complete overstatement for this garbage. It looks like a cheap prop from a D-list horror film.
Shush, love. Let the girl do what she pleases with, what do they call this? Oh, forget about it. At the very least, it's not as dreadful as the one art exhibit I was forced to attend last month. You should have seen it, Marianne. Even you would have been appalled. But I'm sure you'll know what to do with our walls once we get started.
I highly doubt it is as bad as you say, Ma'am. Nevertheless, you can be assured that my team will only pick whatever suits your tastes. Nothing of this chain letter sort, of course. It has to always work with a palette.
I'm quite sure chain letters these days don't come in this form.
It's my turn to be puzzled. What do they mean? Rose and I double-checked everything earlier. Are the papers I handed not enough? I want to ask what I did wrong. I don't want to mess this up. But with the way Ma'am Hannah's, leading the conversation, I'm afraid that's exactly what will happen if I do interrupt her.
That's good to hear. See, darling, isn't she an absolute delight to work with? I can't wait to see how this place will look when she's done with it.
Oh, you don't have to tell me that, Buttercup.
The smile is back on her lips when she turns to me and hands me this strange piece of
I
paper.
would still put it away if I were you, though. Otherwise, people might get the wrong impression. Anyway, as I was saying...
I don't want to hear the rest of what she says after that. I can only stare down at the paper, at the letter in my hands. The sides crinkle in my grip and my breathing grows labored. Dread quickly fills
Isabella?
my mind.
Isabella, you're looking pale.
I don't even notice when Rose, as well as the other group touring the mansion, joins us in the parlor. I want nothing more than to say that, no, I'm not all right. I want to leave this place, because I remember everything as clear as day. This letter, that woman in the attic, it's
The
real.
letter. I'm sorry, I didn't know.
Careless, I've been so careless. How do I even tell them without looking like I've gone mad? Should I even tell them? Don't show the letter.
Rose,
The words are stuck in my throat. I want to tell her, I really do, but is she going to believe me? She already dismissed me earlier. It's a concussion, she said. My best friend wouldn't dismiss crazy shit. But also, she's just as crazy as me. That's not... There really is something in this house, in that attic, in that letter. And it's going to go after us. Please, believe me.
Dear me, is Isabella all right?
Isabella. Ma'am Hannah's voice breaks through the haze, beginning to cloud my mind. Rose is looking down on me, worry etched on her features. I don't even notice when she's removed the wrinkled paper from my hands and pushed me down to sit on a nearby chair. From the edge of my vision, I can also make out Miss McCulloch asking a passing food server for a glass of water. Mr. Wright stands in the sidelines. Although curious, he appears more inclined to watch the scene than help. They are all as likely to believe me as Rose does. To everyone, whatever's in this house is just a hoax, cautionary tale for children.
Isabella, do you need me to call that ambulance?
She offers me a drink, but I push it away. I need to get out of here before I cause an even bigger commotion. Clear my head, take a breath of fresh air, anything to take my mind off things. No one's going to believe me anyway.
No, I'm just feeling a bit out of it. Excuse me. I'll be back. I just need to catch my breath.
Bowing my head, I mutter a quick apology and gather my stuff to make a quick exit. It doesn't matter if this place is haunted or not. I've caused trouble, and Rose can be quite unforgiving for behavior like this. I'm almost at the door of the parlor when she catches up with me.
Isabella, wait!
The apprehension must have been quite obvious in my face, because her expression instantly shifts to something gentler. Eyes softer, a fond smile spreading on her lips.
Hey, I'm not angry.
I know. I'm sorry I ruined this for you.
Come on, you didn't ruin anything. It's not like we haven't ran into any problems before. If we don't get a deal today, we can always try on a different day. And look.
She hesitates, completely trailing off before shifting her gaze down to her hands. A small gesture to stall. Her fingers are fiddling with a piece of folded paper. It's that stupid letter again. My hands stiffen when she gives it back, but I take it, nevertheless. More as a automatic response than any desire to have it back. I'll throw it away if I can. But I have this nagging feeling that one way or another it'll find its way back to me, regardless of what I do about it.
Rose, this is... You have to let them know about...
I know you want us to get this sale so badly. And we've made a lot of plans on how to go about this. I mean, who wouldn't? This is the first time I've been assigned to a property like this. I've sold plenty of houses before, but nothing like what we have here. But I think... Look, here's the thing, Isabella. If we are going to do this, work on something, I don't know, this big, I need you in top shape. And the way you are now...
My mind stops.
What? Wait. No, I can still work. I just need to get myself together.
That's what you said earlier. I let it go because I thought, hey, it's your own body and you should know more than anyone how you feel. But after this, I really think you should take a break.
You're kicking me out?
No, I'm not. Look, all I'm asking is for you to take a seat somewhere I can see you, and let me handle this for now. You're clearly not yourself, and I honestly could use some time not worrying when you'll fall over or not. The day's not even over, and I'm already feeling the stress. Please, humor me just this once.
She clasps her hand together in front of her, eyes pleading for understanding. And I do understand, to some extent. That doesn't mean I'll feel any less awful, whether at myself at the unlucky turn of the situation is taken, or for her. I don't really know.
I promise I'll give you a full report of what happens after. I'll even let you take the lead tomorrow.
Fine. Okay. I'll step aside for now.
You're upset.
Yeah.
A little, yeah, obviously.
If it's any consolation, I won't tell the boss about today. You know how he is.
Please don't. I don't want a repeat of the lecture I got during my first assignment. He called me a noob, and I don't even know what that means.
Really? At the memory, she dissolves into helpless giggles, which I also join in, earning us strange looks from the guests milling around the door. Talking and laughing like this, it's easy to forget any mishaps that happened. How could you forget, Grudge Lady? Little things you learn to appreciate, I guess.
So, are we good?
I'm still not okay with it, but Rose has a point. It's better for me to step out of this one for now.
I won't be able to help you anyways if I keep getting distracted like this. Maybe I'll just take a walk outside or something while I wait for you to wrap things up.
Please, just stay put. I insist.
I'm not an invalid, Rose.
You kinda bumped your head.
You clearly have not seen how you looked earlier.
It's not that bad.
Color hasn't even returned to your cheeks yet. Just stay here, all right? Don't even think of going anywhere. Let me finish what I'm doing here, and then I'll take you back to Luxembourg myself to have that minor bump checked. At least wait for me to call someone who'll fetch you, okay?
She's gone before I can voice one word of complaint. Left with nothing else to do, I find myself drifting back to the foyer. A few visitors linger in the area, some merely enjoying the afternoon sunlight streaming through the stained glass windows. Others can be seen admiring the priceless antiques decorating the room. One group of elderlies, gathered some ways opposite of me, is occupied in a friendly banter about which one will cost more to buy. A little argument here, and occasional laughter and teasing there. I smile to myself. The conversation reminds me of what I've been missing these past few months. My phone did a thing. Rose is probably right. I do need a break. Maybe this afternoon hangout will help. Speaking of, I should call Ash. A few hours early from what I've told him, but he did ask for a call once I'm done. Besides, I don't have a ride back. He offered, so I might as well take it. Or bribe him into giving me one. Not that he'll ever accept the latter, personal convictions and all. Honestly, if there's something I find admirable in him, despite his tendency to annoy the hell out of me, it's that. Well, whatever way works, a free ride is still a free ride. There's Rose's offer too, but despite what she says, I know she'll be busy for the rest of the afternoon, especially without me assisting. Bothering her for a favor as small as this is the last thing I want to do right now. A couple of minutes and a few prayers asking for a decent signal later, the call finally connects and...
Shit! Bob Ash from Deluxe City. Bad guys watch out, can't beat me. Looking for trouble? Better not lie. I'm a cool dude, pretty fly for an Asian guy. Bob Ash from Deluxe City. Bad guys watch out.
What?
Shit, how loud is this thing even?
For trouble? Better not lie.
Sharp ringing fills the entire hall, disrupting the pleasant quiet that settled down. Soon enough, heads begin to turn in search of the source, mine included.
For trouble?
My eyes dart around the small crowd before zeroing in on a long figure, crouched behind the same group of old people checking out the decors moments ago. He's facing away from me, fumbling with something in his hands. But I don't need to see his face to know whose back it is. Oh, I'll recognize that dumb parka anywhere. Without bothering to end the call, I march towards him. After that happened today, I'm really not in the mood to deal with this.
Of all the times to...
Ashton Frey!
What happens next is something I'll surely regret later for not having recorded. He jumps, lets out an undignified yelp, followed by his phone slipping out from his grip. It bounces from one hand to the other in his poor attempt to catch it, before ultimately falling flat on the floor with a resounding clack. I kind of feel sorry for the phone, and the floor. But it's not every day that you can catch someone like Ash off guard and get a reaction. Damn his stupid detective senses. I'll take every ounce of victory I can get, no matter how small. An awkward pause passes between us. I blink. A cough. He makes a face, and then a too-quick motion. He ducks and retrieves his abused gadget, while a grin threatens to break out from my lips. He doesn't meet my eyes when he straightens, but a flush has crept up his neck and cheeks. In another universe, where we haven't known each other for 5 years and suffering through his teasing is not a day-to-day occurrence, chances are I'll find that adorable. You find that adorable. Endearing, even. Unfortunately, this isn't that kind of world. Sure it's not. The way things are, I'm already content to see him out of his normally collected disposition.
Hello to you too, scaredy cat. I could
Asshole.
stand to be greeted like a normal person, you know.
What? And miss that look on your face? No! Oh man, I should have taken a picture.
I am so honored you find this funny. Is that how you treat your guests? I think I need to talk to your supervisor.
Talk to yourself. You aren't even a guest here. What are you doing here in the first place?
For a moment, he looks like a cat that swallowed the canary. Suddenly, checking every nook and cranny in his phone for any damage or scratches seems to be a more interesting activity than explaining himself.
Ash,
I could be looking to buy a house.
a mansion.
Yeah, why not? Did you see the view outside? It doesn't look haunted to me at all.
He's messing with me.
Ashton, I am not in the mood. What are you doing here?
He chances a glimpse at some point behind me. The parlor? Curious, I follow his gaze, but before I can figure out what has caught his attention, he places a hand on my shoulder and turns me back to face him. Aha!
I just finished
distraction.
working on something earlier than expected, so I dropped by.
I still don't see how his work has anything to do with why he's here. At my confused look, he drops the hand resting on my arm, like he has touched something particularly hot, and casually rubs the back of his neck.
And I said I'll see if I can pick you up. Turns out I can. Free time and all. So here I am. Figured you'd still be busy, and so I roamed around for a while.
Oh, you should have mentioned that sooner. I was about to throw you out.
Throw me? Hey, I was given a pamphlet. I think that makes me a legitimate client at least.
We have a mandatory sign-in sheets for clients, Ash. I didn't see your name on it. And you can't just roam around because it says open house. Normal people actually follow an etiquette here.
Being normal's boring.
Right, okay. I think I'll just go ahead and...
No, wait. I wasn't really going to throw you out. Rose said, never mind. I was just about to leave anyway.
Wait, what? Now?
Something must have shown in my face because he pauses and gives me a long, hard stare. Sometimes I forget how easy reading people is for Ash, given how he often looks as if everything around him is a chore. I avoid his eyes, hoping he'll drop the subject and won't ask any more questions. The last thing I want is to tell him what happened, especially the part about the letter. In fact, he's the last person on Earth I'll ever think about telling it to, if I can help it. Sure, he's a dependable guy. God knows how many times he's helped me, even without me asking for it. But stuff like ghosts and supernatural? He'll never believe those, even if he hears it from a friend. Except maybe if it's Becca. On a good day, the most harmless thing he'll do is give you a detailed explanation why those things have no chance of being real. At worst, he's insufferable. He'll poke fun at you every single chance he'll get. Asshole. What did I ever do to him? He never does that to Becca or Zach. I can already imagine how things will go down the moment I spill a word of what I saw in the attic. Nope, over my dead body. Well, maybe literally. Before it catches his attention, I shove the letter still clasped in my hand deep into my bag.
What's wrong?
Nothing. Let's just go.
Doesn't look like a nothing to me.
We still have Zach's movie tonight, remember?
It's still early. And didn't you say your shift will end around 5 or 6? What about... Hey, Isabella, wait up!
She wants to get the fuck out. A rush of air greets me as soon as the main door opens. Not the usual autumn draft, but still a welcome change to the stifling atmosphere inside the mansion. Ash's footsteps are quick behind me, the soles of his shoes thumping hard against the polished concrete in an awkward cadence as he rushes to catch up. He calls out once, twice. The mansion still looms in the background. Whispers calling me back, shadows beckoning. Help me. Help me. I don't look back. The Lift Fest, short for Luxburn Independent Film Theater Festival, attracts a bigger crowd annually, and this year's no different. I've only been to a few indie film screenings with Zach, so I'm not an expert on the matter. But I know that for people hoping to make a break in the industry, getting your film recognized by a local event like this is already a big deal. Especially for a newcomer like Zach. He hasn't even won an award, but just getting a confirmation letter that the festival committee wants to include his movie in this year's lineup already put a grin on his face for weeks. Speaking of the guy, he's impossible to miss. At 6 feet, he appears to loom over most of moviegoers, and with his large build and heavy voice, there's no surprise when people give him a wide berth as they pass by. It's often easy to mistake him for someone intimidating at first glance. I did back when I didn't know any better. Ash did too, I heard. Once early in their friendship.
Oh, there's Zach.
This tall dude.
Hey, you guys! Long time no see!
Zach's face lights up with a smile of his own. He moves towards us, taking careful steps and a significant effort to make himself smaller so as not to bump or accidentally hit someone. Typical Zach. As he nears, Ash casually raises his hand in greeting and...
Sup, Z-Man, my main man. What's crack-a-lackin', my homie?
So awkward. So awkward. The awkwardness that descends within the immediate vicinity of our small group is palpable enough. Somewhere to our left, a girl giggles, and only then do I become aware of my mouth hanging open. I'm almost amazed how Ash can say that out loud with a straight face. Almost. Considering his track record, I should be used to it by now. Zach seems to be.
Yo, stop trying to act black, Ashton. And you're the only one who calls me Z-Man.
There's fondness underneath his exasperated tone. If this were any other person, he'd likely be offended, but years of friendship and familiarity have made those words harmless to the other's ears. Or at least enough for both to take it in stride.
It's been a while, Zach.
I hope you didn't get into trouble again.
Not much to get into trouble lately without you, I'm afraid. I'll let you know if something comes up, though.
Nah, I ended up with Chicken Down stuck on me last time I agreed. I'd really love at least this year to pass without some sort of accident happening again.
Hey, I take offense to that. It wasn't that bad.
You really have no idea.
A beat passes and then
Hey,
Zach
I'm
says,
kidding. You know you can always count on me.
"It's a story only the two of them are privy to. Every now and then, Ash will enlist Zach's help on something. Becca and I have never really found out the real deal with those adventures, as Ash calls it, and both aren't willing to tell due to some unspoken agreement. She insists that if it's Ash, it's likely not something illegal or life-threatening. I tend to believe her on that. Sometimes. Ah, well, boys will be boys, I guess." I give Zach a small wave from behind Ash, and he eventually turns his attention to me.
Bella! Huh? Rebecca's not with you. Is she still sick?
A bit. But she's up and went to work this morning. You know she doesn't listen to anyone that's not Ash.
Sounds about right.
Yes, she does.
No, she doesn't. You're literally the only person she'll listen to when she's feeling stubborn.
And it's true. They've known each other far longer than any of us in the group. Childhood friends and all.
But don't worry, Zach. She's probably on her way here now. She promised she wouldn't miss your movie. Isabella!
Speak of the devil. Without warning, a hand grabs me by the shoulder and turns me around.
Becca, you're just in time.
I have learned to back a little with the way her face is almost invading my personal space, but she places her hand on either side of my face to keep my head still. She stares at me intently, concern filling her eyes.
You're squishing my face. How are you? Are you all right? Why wouldn't I be?
Rose called me earlier.
Uh-huh. Those 4 words tell me all I need to know. Since I don't have my family living close by and the other relative I have works on the far side of the country, I gave my company Becca's contact number in case of emergency. I should have known Rose would call her. I push Becca's hands away from my face. Although she lets go, her eyebrows remain drawn together.
Oh, no, everything's good. Rose covered for me at work today.
That's not what I'm talking about. How's your head?
Beside me, Ash snickers. I bite back the urge to elbow him in place of trying to avoid Becca's hand as she tries to reach out for said area. I did my best to dodge her, all at once moving to hide behind Zach. Sorry for using you as a human shield, Zach.
Oh, it's nothing. I just slipped off a few steps on my way down. I blacked out for a few seconds and had a minor bump, but it's just that.
You blacked out? It's not something to brush off. Come on, at least let me check it.
It's extremely minor. You wouldn't even know it's there.
Isabella, this isn't a laughing matter.
Okay, Mom.
She did look pale when I saw her earlier.
Thanks, guys.
Wow. Thanks a lot, Ashton, you traitor. I'll get you back for this. Just you wait.
What? I'm just saying it as it is. If you mentioned this earlier, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now.
I'm sorry. Saw her?
Yeah, they arrived together. Bella looked fine to me then. I don't know.
Something crosses Becca's face, but it's gone before I can figure out what it is. Jealousy?
Oh, that's good. At least she didn't have to travel alone, right?
Jealousy.
At least.
See? I'm okay. I wouldn't be here if I wasn't. And I don't want to miss Zach's film.
We can always watch it some other time. Sorry, Zachary.
No, it's good. But you guys should really keep it down. We're starting to attract some attention.
It's the premiere. The premiere's different. Right, Zach?
I shoot him a pleading look. Zach's a sensible guy. He'll understand. Please understand.
Not really. But Rebecca has a point. In the end, I think it's your call.
Oh, for heaven's sake!
Please, Becca. I really don't want to miss it.
You're not missing it. Oh, we're just moving it on a different day so we can have a medical professional take a look at you.
Look, you guys.
Ash's loud sigh unexpectedly cuts through the conversation. He is pinching the bridge of his nose as he speaks, something he usually does when he's getting impatient.
If she says she's okay, then there's nothing we can do about it. It's not like we can stop her either. Besides, she's still acting like the same old Isabella to me, if she can still run around like that.
Why are you taking her side?
I'm not. But if she wants to watch Zach's movie with us, I'm not going to stop her. She's probably the one looking forward to it the most.
Ash, that's... You, of all people, should know...
Tell you what, if I notice something amiss with her, I'll take her to the nearest hospital myself. Is that good enough for you?
I already know the answer before Becca voices it out. When at last she releases a deep breath and nods, albeit with great reluctance, I immediately tackle her into a hug.
Thanks, Becca.
It's always been you with him, isn't it?
Did you say something?
Jealousy.
Nothing. Don't mind me.
If you say so.
Okay, guys, showtime's close, so I think I'm gonna get us some snacks. My treat. And then let's head inside. Anyone here has a smaller bill?
I think I do. Hold on.
I pull myself off Becca to get my wallet from my bag and the letter.
What's this?
No! No!
No! Give it back!
It's just a paper.
I don't care! Give it!
Looks ancient, too. Why do you keep this around?
I tried to reach for it, but he holds the paper way above his head. Fucking dick! I've never been particularly sensitive of my own height, but right now I really wish I have that advantage over him.
Don't open it!
What's the big deal? It's not like it's a love letter. I don't see any reason to... Hold on a second. This is, isn't it?
Even if it is, it's not for you.
Okay. Now I'm curious.
I'm telling you, it's nothing like that. It's...
The rest of my words are lost when he unfolds the paper! Ah! I can't breathe. My heart feels stuck in my throat, pounding, threatening to burst out. Vaguely, I note how my hands are trembling at my sides. Clasping them together doesn't do any good, but they're still shaking. But I hang on to it regardless. The awful, sick weight that has taken its core in my stomach back in the open house returns full force. How do I fix this? How do I fix this? How do I fix this? Someone please. Today's turning out to be a horrible nightmare.
Send this to 5 people or else. Well, that's... interesting.
Guys, I think we should listen to Bella.
Aren't you a few days early for Halloween?
Ash waves the paper in front of me, giving me a fleeting glimpse of its contents. I don't need to see. I don't want to see. The letters, the words, every stroke written in blood is already embedded in my mind. Maybe I should have just thrown it away when I had the chance. That way...
It's not a prank.
It makes all of them stop. Even I am surprised at how steady my voice is.
What did you say?
This isn't a prank! I saw something!
Hold on. Are we still talking about this paper? Or is it about the urban legend again?
It is the urban legend.
Both. I know it sounds ridiculous.
You're saying this is a primitive version of a chain letter, and now that we've seen it, we're now cursed. You've got to be kidding me.
See? This is why I didn't want to tell you.
Isabella, aren't you taking this a bit too far?
I'd believe her.
It's not
But
a
I'm,
joke.
you know, weird.
Will you guys listen to me first? I saw something in the house earlier. It stood right in front of me. If I hadn't gotten away, that thing might have...
Right. And in broad daylight, Isabella. Typically, I don't believe in this stuff, but even someone gullible would find the logic in that screwed up.
There's also no way in hell that this supernatural shit you're talking about is true.
But it's real! What do you think I saw?
A hallucination? A delusion? Didn't you say you fell down some stairs? So maybe Rebecca's right.
It happened after, when I was trying to get away. I almost got stuck in the same room with that thing. We're all in danger. I thought you were my friends. Why don't you believe me?
We are, and you know that. But this thing and that thing has got nothing to do with the other. When Rose called earlier, I thought she's just exaggerating. But based on what I'm seeing right now, maybe it's better if we really postpone this for now.
Don't bother.
Without another word, I snatched the letter out of Ash's hand and stuffed it back in my bag with more force than necessary. I'm tired. I got cursed, saw a ghost, probably lost a sale, got kicked out of the open house I'm supposed to be hosting. My own friends won't believe me, and all of them think I'm crazy. To top it all off, there's a dull ache at my back of my head, begging for a little attention. I can't afford to give it right now. Honestly, there's only so much a person can take within a single day. I just want to go home, curl up in my bed, and never think about today. But before I can take a single step away from the group...
Guys!
Zach rarely ever raises his voice, even when there's a point he wants to drive home. And hearing him take on that tone completely throws me off. Even Ash and Becca. Whatever harsh words yet to come out from the argument immediately die on our tongues.
Why don't we all calm down first? I'm sure Isabella has her reasons too. No need to be hard on her. And hey, ain't this supposed to be a happy get-together? We haven't seen each other for months. I'd really love to know what y'all have been up to. I only ever get to talk to Bella over chat. Please.
He has a point. Ash, for all his attempts to look cool and distant, has also been looking forward to this. He even took the time to call this morning for a reminder. He never does that. Becca too, I'm pretty sure that's another reason why she got out of bed today. Despite Zach's attempts to lighten things up, or Ash's and Becca's acquiescent gestures, the tightness in my chest remains. I should have just kept it to myself, or at least went with the idea that it's a prank. If I did, things might not have turned out the way they did. No sour mood, no bad vibes. Careless, so careless. Maybe leaving is a better decision for all of us. Stay for the movie. Any other day I'll excuse myself to go straight home. But this is something special to Zach. Something he worked so hard to bring to life. I should know better. I might be having a bad day, but being with the few people I care about far outweighs the idea of spending the rest of the day throwing a tantrum alone in my room. And what if the thing in the attic follows me home? I don't want to be left with my thoughts either. I can see it whenever I close my eyes. And maybe if I stay, let our heads cool down first before telling them what happened, they'll listen to me? There's nothing you can't solve with a calm head. One step at a time, Isabella. That's what Mama used to tell me. Besides, I don't have the heart to ditch Zach. A smile is back on my face when I look back up at them.
If we keep arguing here, we're going to miss the first few minutes.
All right, that's the Isabella I know.
Oh, good. I thought for sure you were going to cry.
Someone got... This time I really do send an elbow straight into his stomach. Yep, turn him green. Stupid Ash, being vertically challenged has his perks, too.
What was that for?
Stop calling me a crybaby! I'm not one!
Aw, don't cry.
Stop it!
Okay, scaredy cat then.
That too! If you repeat that, I swear.
Let's just go.
Without another word, Becca goes inside. She doesn't even stop to wait for us when I call after her. Ash and I exchanged looks at that, the same question likely swimming inside our minds. Did something happen at school after I left? Is she having a bad day too? I'll try asking her about it later, I guess.
So, you guys go catch up with her. I'll go get us the food, I promise.
But you'll miss it.
Didn't you say watching a movie without food ain't fun? And it ain't like I haven't seen it. I made it, remember? I'll be in there soon.
One friendly tap on my shoulder, and then he's gone. A few moviegoers are still milling about, some still waiting in line for tickets, but otherwise, most of the crowd are already inside. There's nothing much for us to do here now. Not a word of protest comes from me when Ash gestures for the two of us to head inside.
And then?
Are you sure it wasn't one of the cleaning crews?
Absolutely sure.
Somehow, halfway through the movie, the conversation steered towards what happens in the mansion. What happened. To be fair, Zach's the one who brought it up again. In his own movie premiere. Now, the film's just serving as a background noise while we're speaking in hushed tones, careful not to disturb anyone inside the small hall. Well, that sucks. Well, except for Ash. I just hope we don't end up arguing about it again. We'll all get kicked out for sure. Though, with how loud Ash's voice is, we'll probably get thrown out way before any argument happens. Only Becca still remains engrossed in the movie, completely ignoring us. She's been quiet the whole evening, speaking only when referred to. If I didn't know any better, I think we did something that offended her earlier. Did we?
And then I ran. You heard what happened after.
I still think it's something else.
It was standing right in front of me, Ash.
He's one of the smartest people I know, but geez, he should learn to listen. Plus, didn't he say he doesn't believe in these things? Why is he in this conversation again?
I heard what you said, but it's a small room. There are a lot of things someone else could have done there without your knowledge. If I could see it up close, maybe I can...
I am not going back there.
Ain't that a problem if you're hosting an open house?
Rose does the first floor tour.
I ain't sure ghosts can be restricted to one room, Bella.
Yeah, he's got a
There
point.
are no ghosts, Zach. Stop putting useless ideas in her head.
Yeah, but I was thinking, maybe all the house needs is a blessing. Wasn't it left uninhabited for years?
Oh, the house did change hand over the years, but from one distant relative of the Armengards to another. None of them bothered to live in it, though, and it remained that way up until its current owners decided to sell it. Why didn't I think of that?
I didn't peg you as the religious type, Zach.
Nothing like that, Ash. Who knows, though? It might bring something positive to the place.
That's not a bad idea. I just don't know where I could find someone.
I know how to do it, but it's not, it's a witchy thing.
You're not seriously considering his suggestion, are you?
Do you have a better idea?
I know where. I could contact him for you if you
Oh
want.
no.
You'd do that?
Or we can find you a psychologist instead.
Fucking dude. There are very few times in my life when I wish my glowers can kill. This is one of those.
Ash, that is not a very appropriate thing to say right now.
I like Zach, he's kind of awesome.
No, wait, that's not what I meant. Ethnographer. I meant ethnographer. This guy's a psychologist too, of course, if you...
Ashton, if you don't stop...
Rebecca knows the guy I'm talking about too. She can vouch for him.
Becca tears her eyes away from the screen at the mention of her name.
Huh? What? Oh, are you talking about Professor Andrew? He used to work with my parents at the university. And can you guys keep it down?
Sorry, but since Scaredy Cat here mentioned curses, not that I'm saying this is one, because that's nigh improbable, you'd probably benefit more from someone like Andrew. The stuff you're saying is still really hard to believe, but talking to him is a better solution for me than getting a random priest to bless an old house. He'll even help you figure things out, teach you a couple things. At best, he'll let you see things from a different perspective, and probably put your fears to rest, since this looks to be bothering you a lot.
Ash might be right too. However, what Zach has also suggested is something I'm more familiar with. Granted, they don't believe me, and they're only giving me these suggestions to put my mind at ease, but it's better than being ignored or just being laughed at. I can take comfort in knowing they're willing to hear me out.
So, what do you think?
It's your call. We'll go with whatever you want.
I don't know.
Ooh. Priest or professor? I'd prefer to do the witchy thing. Let's meet the professor.
I'll think about it, but if ever, I'd like to give talking to Andrew a try.
Yeah, probably.
Is that okay? Won't he have other things to do?
He is a bit busy, but he'll make time for me. He's my go-to person when I'm stuck in something. He won't mind if I bring a friend with me this time.
If you're sure.
I guess that settles it then.
Guys, I said keep it down. You keep insisting that we still watch it, yet you're not even paying attention yourselves.
It ain't a big deal, Rebecca. I'm the one who broached the subject in the first place.
It's still your film, Zachary. A good film, mind you. You worked hard on this. The least we could do is watch it with you.
And that's what you're all doing. I really appreciate all of you making time for this.
Sorry, Becca. We'll stop now.
I throw an apologetic look, even if Ash is the only one she should be reprimanding, but her attention is already back on the screen. She's ignoring us again. When Becca's acting the way she is right now, there's a big chance something's nagging her. We really need to talk. We all fall into a comfortable silence after, the kind only you can share with people you're most at ease with. For the first time today, the letter lays forgotten in my bag, if only for a few hours. Night has fallen, and by the time we exit the movie house, despite the late hour, the streets are still bustling, full of people. Those about to head home, those set to meet someone, even those simply wandering about. Walking in this sea of unfamiliar souls, it strikes me how easy it is for one to get lost in a city as nondescript as Luxburn. I was afraid too, at one point, back when I was new and had just set foot in this place. Now, with familiar faces walking with me, it feels a little like home. Zach and Ash bid us goodbye shortly before Becca and I cross to the other side of the street. The former claiming he's got a few freelance jobs to take care of before the day ends. And Ash? Who knows? He never tells. Sometimes he'll just randomly appear at your doorstep, looking for a place to crash. He does that to Zach a lot, much to his friend's frustration. Although he's a busy guy too, in spite of his laid-back air he gives off.
Thanks for today, everyone!
No problem, Zach. I'm sorry for what happened earlier.
Ooh, fuck that, dude.
Huh?
A sensation. Cold, sickening, drowning, my chest tightening, breathing becoming labored. Feels like a panic attack. I can taste blood in my mouth. The edges of my vision blurs. In the distance, amidst the countless nameless people going about their lives, a voice reaches out to me. Help me. Pleading even as I clench my eyes tight and clasp my hands over my ears. Whispering, whispering, and whispering. Calling out. Help me, please.
No, not me.
Somebody.
Isabella? Earth to Isabella?
At her voice, the whole world suddenly snaps into place. The murmur's gone. When I open my eyes, Becca raises an eyebrow at me in question.
Weren't you listening? Are you coming with me?
Oh, yeah. Just... Okay, sorry. I spaced out.
You always do that.
I follow her without complaint, but not before sneaking a glance to the far end of the street, where the voice came from, where another set of eyes might be peering at me. Nothing. There's only Zach and Ash watching over us as we head back to where Becca parked her ride home. If I'm expecting to see something or someone there, I try not to let it show. Try not to think of the tiny pinpricks of fear crawling at the pit of my stomach.
See you guys some other time.
Yeah. See ya.
Another glance, and with the final wave, we go off our own ways. I don't know what I saw. I don't know what I heard. I don't want to know. And that's where I'm gonna end it, guys. I think I'm gonna try to save this guy. Save! That's where I'm gonna end it. I think I've been playing for probably an hour. But if you like this, please leave a like down below, and then hit that subscribe button if you're new here and you want to see more goofy stuff and more spooky stuff. And you guys have a great day.